Hey, this is Justin from Goldpenguin, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create an email capturing pop-up box that loads on a page after an activity. It's pretty cool looking and pretty easy to make. So we're going to hop over to our Breakdance pop-up tab, go ahead and add a new pop-up, call it whatever you want, fancy pop-up, and we're going to apply this to everywhere. You could change this based on if you want it on certain posts or just blog pages. We're going to add a trigger to have this show after 3 seconds of an activity. Oops, not negative 43. Okay. Once the pop-up's made, we're going to go ahead and edit it. To begin creating our pop-up, we are going to add a pop-up and then add a section inside of that. We're going to change our section to have 0 padding on all sides, apply that to all, and then we're going to go back into our pop-up real quick and actually change the padding there too to be 0, because we're going to want this image to kind of stretch the whole thing and the label to stretch the whole thing too. Another thing we'll do is we'll customize the cross button, and then we're going to get rid of the borders on the side to make it look a little bit cleaner. This is also done in the pop-up. We can go to close button and let's add a custom icon. You could really do whatever you feel like. I like this one because it kind of looks like a little X. And so we'll get rid of the background color, and then we're going to change the actual color of the icon to something that stands out a little bit. There you go. That's nice. Back into our pop-up, we're going to now add these borders and make a little small radius. Let's say we do 10. That's a nice size. So that adds a little bit of styling to it, makes it look better. So now inside of our section, we are going to add our columns. We have 2 columns that we need to make. One's going to be bigger than the other, and we can go ahead and use the default. Let's go with this one. So inside this one, we're going to need a div, and inside this one, we're also going to need a div. So we'll create a div and change the container width to be 100% to stretch the entire width of the column. And we could go ahead and duplicate it on the right and then move it down here. So now we've got 2 divs. In one of them, we're going to need a heading and a picture, and the other we're going to need to do a heading and a form. So we're going to go ahead and create a heading in both of these. And then we're also going to go and put a form builder in this one too. Users will convert at a higher rate if you get rid of name and message, because we don't really want people to have to do a whole lot of work. Just put your email in, and we'll change the label, we'll get rid of it, and then we'll add it inside here. Oops, into placeholder. Just to kind of keep things flowing, make it look a little easier. Okay, now that we did that, we can set the image, set the text, and then pretty much just format it from here, and we should be good to go. So we are going to set the image in the column. So click on the first column and go to background. We're going to add a layer, which is going to be of type image, and you can go ahead and add whatever image you want for this tutorial. We're going to use this picture of a hat for this. So to copy, we'll do join the club, take the heading text in all caps, join the club, and we're going to go ahead and change the typography to, I like maybe 7. 7 looks good. 8. We could do 7 REM. And we are going to add some padding between the heading and the left side, which will be done through the div. This div, we can offset 20 pixels from the left, and we'll offset this 120 from the right, which will be done in padding 20. Same thing here. We'll go to container padding 20, just to keep things all on the same page. We should also change the color of this text to match something a little bit nicer. We can go ahead and add a color, make it a little transparent, and then we should be good to go. This is almost there. Inside of our div, we are going to want this to wrap up and take the center of this. So we will do that in column, layout, make sure it's centered, and then centered. This is going to be vertically aligned. This is not. The heading text is too big. We could say sign up and go ahead and make this, let's say 2 rem. There you go. Now, once this is done, looks pretty close, pretty close. What we do want to do is add a little bit of padding here, but this is kind of optional. It really just depends on what you want to do. Add 20 pixels of padding to separate it a bit, and looks pretty good. You can go ahead and customize things however you want. we have subscribe now, but really doesn't matter. You get to decide what you want to do. You could add a little shadow to the pop-up. Under pop-up, go to borders, click on add shadow, and then add a shadow just like that. You can go ahead and pick how you want to do this, but we'll go ahead and leave the default properties of this, and there you go. You would also want to customize the form builder. This is done in any way that you want to kind of figure out how you want to capture these emails. If you go to actions after submission, we're going to email the site administrator that we have a sign up and store it on our website. Something that I also recommend doing is connecting with MailChimp. And what that'll do is allow you to build a big database full of all the emails that you have getting subscribed off of your WordPress website. We have another tutorial about how to connect MailChimp to a form, which I can link in the description. But other than that, once we're done with this, we're pretty much done. And the form looks really good and will pop up on devices after a few seconds of inactivity. So hope you enjoyed, and leave a comment if you have any questions.